Yes. Well, good evening, Facebook family. It is Lena Graham Morris at the African American Chamber of Commerce, and we have
your communications and PR liaison, Laura Dorsey Harris.
And we are so excited today because we have a guest with us that is going to be talking about what is happening coming up on the 7th and then the 11th and 12th. So I would like to introduce Miss Phoebe Fuquay. And hello, and she's with Pinnacle Signature Group. How are you today, Phoebe?
I'm doing awesome. How are you doing?
Good. So I'm so glad we could get you in the line. We did not want to start with that without having Phoebe here to be able to talk to you. So if you all do not know or haven't received any of the correspondence, we had a taxathon. Hi, Rochelle. So listen closely to this, Rochelle, because we want to get you involved. So we had a loan-a-thon. So now it's time for a taxathon.
Yay.
Yes. So what does that mean? What does that mean, Laura?
That means for those of you, who have been remiss and not completed all of your tax paperwork, especially if you're a small business, or even an entrepreneur, here's a good time for you to be able to take some information that's going to be helpful for you to move forward with your taxes.
So let's very quickly talk about why this is so important. So when we launched Project Silo, we talked about seeing over 600 businesses in 2017. And then we talked about what the businesses needed. And when we tried to move some of the businesses towards getting the higher end contracts and so forth, you have to go through different processes. And so higher end contracts and access to capital. And we found that a lot of individuals did not have paperwork intact so that they could move forward. And so what happened is one of our founding trustees and stakeholders, BB&T, they came to us and they said, hey, we're going to have our community bus in the area on April 11th and 12th. And we want to be able to bring it to the National Entrepreneur Center, and we want to be able to offer some services to the members. And one of the services that we will be able to offer is filing taxes, as Laura mentioned. So we took it a step further. We reached out to two of our small business members. Of course, we have Phoebe on the line, and actually Juanita has joined us. Hi, Juanita. So Phoebe is with Pinnacle Signature, and Juanita Coley is with Cornerstone, which is under Solid Rock Consulting. And so we decided that we want to have you totally prepared. So we're doing a tax preparation or somewhat of a tax clinic on April 7th. That's this Saturday. And so what does that mean? What does that mean is we want, when you come in on the 11th and 12th and you have free tax preparation services, that you are fully prepared and can take advantage of that opportunity. So that brings me back to Phoebe. So Phoebe, on April 7th, this Saturday, when folks come in, you sent a nifty a checklist, but can you talk about some of the things that the members will need to have so that they can be right on point for their appointment that we're going to make for them on the 11th and 12th?
Yes, definitely. I first want to say thank you for the opportunity. And so pretty much what they need is their identification. That's very important so we can confirm that they are the person that are on their W-2 forms and all of their taxable income. So this is something that's very important for them to have. We did provide a checklist, so that will be given to everyone that comes on Saturday, so they'll be prepared for this coming week. So they'll be able to provide us with all their necessary information, all their taxable information, things such as their retirement income, if they have a business, their business income, everything that we need so we can be able to make their filing preparation a smooth transition.
Okay, so Phoebe, they are going to need to bring their identification. They're going to bring their general taxable income, retirement income, business income. So let's talk about the type of businesses that really can benefit from this. So I know it's people who are sole proprietors, LLCs, not-for-profits. They're still eligible to file taxes, correct?
Well, yes. So we would file a form called a 990, and it depends on how much revenue their organization, their not-for-profit organization, brought in for that year. Depends on what type of 990 form we will fill out for them.
Okay. All righty. And so when they come in on Saturday, you're going to be able to walk through and make sure that all these documents are correct, and that they don't need to gather anything else. You're going to go over what they're needing. What are some of the biggest obstacles that you find that sole proprietors and LLCs and some small not-for-profits run into when filing taxes?
Having the correct income. A lot of times that I've bumped into, they have a ballpoint figure, and they'll say, okay, I have an estimate of, I brought in $25,000 a year. And I really encourage everyone to keep books. Books are very important. Bookkeeping is a key to a successful business, and making sure that we're looking at those liabilities and those deductions, because it can help them it can help them as well as us while preparing their taxes and making sure they're in the correct tax bracket.
So Phoebe, we have that box full of receipts at home, right? Yeah. For the year. So it's time to just bring that to you and give you that box?
Yes, bring the box, or prior to coming, if you can, just itemize it. So add up your receipts, separate it to profit and loss, and just itemize everything from your mileage, from your advertising, from something as simple as your phone bill, everything. If you had to buy uniforms, buy different supplies for your company, that's so important to know. If you had contract employees, if you paid yourself, or if you didn't make anything for that year, I need to know all of that to better help each person, because everybody's situation is different, and it's a unique situation for everyone.
All right. So it would be nice if we took a moment to itemize those receipts before we brought them in. Just some basic, and that you should be able to work with your bookkeeper. Now, if some of our sole proprietors or smaller companies do not have a bookkeeper at this time, I know that's a service that you all offer, but and they definitely need to talk to you about that. But in the interim, is there somewhere they can go and see a general chart of accounts of how they can, kind of itemize them or paperclip them off before they get to you?
Yes, it is. And once they come on Saturday, if they want me to walk them through it, so when they come on next week, they'll have it prepared. It's definitely, I have a unique system to show everyone how to do it in an effective way, because I know I work with smaller companies to larger companies, and to be honest and be very candid, everyone bumps into the same situation. Doesn't matter if it's small or large. It just depends on how many receipts. So I always like to encourage everyone just to take a little bit of time. It doesn't take long to take time out to separate your receipts and just write it down. It doesn't, to be nice if you can type it up, or if not, if you write it out and just, have your profit and loss on a paper and itemize it, that'd be great. And that's something that I can walk through with them on Saturday so they can see. And that's something that I present as well, so they can have an example.
Okay. All right. So April 7th, this is for them to come in to make sure they have everything together, so that when we move forward and they make their appointment for the 11th and 12th, that they can have the taxes filed. Again, the individuals who are going to fit into this circumstance are going to be our individuals who are sole proprietors, consultants, and they have the LLCs and small not-for-profits. Anybody else?
No, that's really, if someone does work if you're under the business sector, yes, that's about it. We also have people who are contract employees, and they do it mostly as like DBAs under a fictitious name, and they tend to have an EIN number that they work under, and they just work as themselves, or they may have a name that they're doing business as, and we can do that as well. Also, if anyone works for an employer, they can provide their W-2s or 1099s.
So we have one of our members here who we're going to look to get her qualified for the tax clinic. Hi, Rochelle. And then, oh yeah, Lena always on me about my book. Yes, about your bookkeeping. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, because the bookkeeping is key, right? Yes. And then we've got Juanita, who's always going to be in. So Juanita says, I always recommend small businesses putting things on business credit. Debit cards helps as well. Most credit card companies will break out how the money was spent. That's a great information, Juanita. And so Juanita also said, so Juanita is with Solid Rock again too. Phoebe, you all will be working closely together. So she's saying great information, Phoebe. Okay, so we're getting everybody squared away. We need to get them in the 7th because it's just really important. So, everyone, it's just really important that we get this done for you. We need to get you qualified to get certifications. We need to get you qualified to be able to get access to capital. That's how you're going to grow your business. And you have to have these baseline things done, because the first thing that a bank, a financial institution, a municipality, or a certifying agency is going to ask you is, okay, show income statement, profit and loss, and your taxes, right? And so it's just really important to have this done. And this is a perfect time to start developing a relationship with 2 other small businesses that understand. So you don't have to feel bad about it. I mean, Phoebe, you get it, right?
Yes.
So there's no judgment. There's nothing but, okay, we want to help because we want to get you prepared, working very closely with the chamber. So, Phoebe, talk a little bit about your company in general then, Pinnacle Signature Group. Tell us about Pinnacle Signature Group and some of the services it offers aside from the tax preparation that may benefit small businesses.
Okay, well, we started off strictly doing all accounting matters. And so the company grew different sectors in the company. So we focus on accounting, all of the accounting matters. We focus on business development, nonprofit development, and political consulting. So we handle all of business solutions. We do things from investments, from bookkeeping services, HR, all of HRs, from all of the onboarding process. We develop strategic plans, anything that you can think of with any type of business solutions. That's what we handle. We like to make sure any company or any client that comes to us is more like a one-stop shop, and they have all of the various business solutions there available to them.
Okay, so we have a question for you, Phoebe. It is, what if you already filed your personal tax for your employer but not your business?
Okay, so that's fine. It depends on what type of business it is. So that's something that we can do as well. We encourage you to provide the same information, all of your necessary bookkeeping things that you have, so we can be able to file your business. So on the personal side, we will like to see your personal taxes so I can see what did you claim, because sometimes, a lot of times when people file their personal taxes, they tend to say, they did contract work for their business, and I want to make sure that we're not double dipping into those deductions.
So, and this is a good time too, that if you need to show a loss, because that's so it's not well, how does that work in the accounting realm, Phoebe? Because I don't want to speak out of line. So if a company shows a loss, then how does that affect them?
It affects them in different ways. So pretty much if they show a loss, it pretty much shows where it depends on the bracket, and it's really hard to really convey. I have my a business associate. He will be there on Saturday. He is the CPA for the firm. And so he tends to handle more of that for the businesses, for any type of losses for that. So I would have him answer those questions as far as with that. I don't want to give off the wrong information, but that's something, depending on the situation, that I have experience with that.
Okay, so then that's another reason for them to be in to talk about to be visiting. Okay, so hold on, and that's what I thought, Juanita. I'm gonna put you on. So Juanita says it'll affect your access to capital mainly. So that's a lot of what we deal with here, and I have seen that effect. So Juanita. Yeah, so maybe Juanita, on Saturday, you'd be able to chat about that a little bit more because I think some businesses are afraid to file because they haven't made money, right? And so, I mean, it's like, what point do you show that you're at a loss, because there's only so many years stipulated by the IRS, correct, before they start really counting it against you. I think at one point I researched and it was like 3 or 5 years. Do not hold me to that. And maybe you all know, or maybe you'll be able to provide that information on Saturday. Okay. So
I encourage people to file, because we have in a business in itself, you have it's like a pinnacle. Sometimes you're up, and sometimes your revenue decreases. So it's okay if you haven't made anything. It's still important to file to keep that record. On the accounting end, I love when we have our portfolios for clients. We have clients who have done an amazing revenue stream for a few years, and then all of a sudden it drops. But then the following year it increases again. So it gives us on a strategy end, how can we avoid, those losses, or how can we overcome those losses? So that's something that I encourage, and Juanita is totally correct as far as it affects your capital. So it's very important to file, and that's something, it depends on what type of company it is, whether it's LLC or whether it's an incorporated company, and then the not-for-profits as well. So it depends on your situation, but definitely encourage people to file. It's important to show those records.
Okay. And so one more thing I'll ask, what about invoices that, because, some larger companies are on accrual, some small companies aren't familiar or comfortable with accrual, they work on a cash basis, but invoicing is important. And so do you have any tips on, number one, do you want to see all of the invoices, if they're not really keeping track of them? And then I'm going to add this in, Phoebe, and Juanita, you can write into it. And I'll go back to your question, Juanita, but what about, a lot of people use PayPal, so they use that for their invoices. And is that something that you recommend, or should they be going towards an accounting software? So I just gave you a lot. Go ahead and take your time. I'm going to put the spotlight on you.
Okay, it's fine. I encourage people to invest into some form of a bookkeeping software. My firm, we use Intuit products. We use QuickBooks, and I love it because it keeps you in line for, and this is what we use for our clients as well. There are other products that are out there, but we use the QuickBooks, the cloud-based, and this helps us be able to see on our client's client's view as well as our view, to help make sure the books stay in line. People do use PayPal, and that's something, I would say, it's okay short term, but on the long term, you want to make sure you have a wider scope. The QuickBooks, it gives you notifications for your sales tax. It also gives you access for QuickBooks payroll. So I encourage every company any company who's out there to really invest into some type of bookkeeping software. And there's a lot of different ones, but I'm just biased with the Intuit products for QuickBooks. There are other ones such as Peachtree, And there are various other products out there. But yes, to answer your question, invest into it. It's okay for a while to use the PayPal, but I don't encourage it. Oh, I see.
Wait, so what? Yeah.
PayPal for long-term solutions. I totally agree, Juanita. Yes. I didn't want to be offensive because some people do. They use PayPal. I've had clients come in, they use Cash App. I've had other clients who use other forms of, applications that are out there. They are out there. But if you want to be effective in long-term, even short-term situations, even for nonprofit organizations, they're out there. They're using PayPal. I've seen it, the GoFundMe's and all this different stuff. But if you want to have an effective and professional means of bookkeeping, invest.
I'm gonna go ahead and read it because we get a lot of individuals who may not catch the live but go back and do the recording. So let me address Juanita. Actually, is agreeing with Phoebe. She says, please stop using PayPal for long-term solution. Get a real merchant account. You can save your business money and time with automation. And so we actually have one of our members, faithful member, Shireen Smith, on the line who says absolutely invest. And she has a merchant company and has some solutions for you. I know a lot of folks are afraid that it's going to cost them more money and they're going to lose money by having a merchant account. But Shireen, with her company, has solutions. So Shireen, put your company in the comments and we'll make sure that that's shared as well. And then Phoebe, and I know you're working some with Juanita, and you can connect with Phoebe as well because they have a large client base in Volusia, and maybe you can help take some of those pain points away. Let's see what else Juanita was saying, that she made a comment that you still want to file the business to show history. However, many times entrepreneurs will write off every single thing, which is their right, but it hurts them down the line if they've written off extreme amounts. Please excuse typos travel. We know, Juanita, we know you're traveling, so we're missing you here on the broadcast, but we will see you Saturday and you'll be working with Phoebe. And that's what Phoebe was talking a bit about, that that's why when to answer Rochelle's question, she came back and said that she would want to see everything because she would want to see what is already written off. So I know personally from when I had one of my companies, when I had one of my companies and I was using, and I was writing things off, it was all good during the year. But then when I went to go get a car or, and people are like, no, we don't want to give you anything because you didn't make any money on paper. Right. So sometimes we get into that cash basis where we want the cash now. And then maybe you can touch a little, both you and Juanita, briefly at the tax-a-thon or tax clinic preparation about accrual versus cash. And then Shireen is telling those apps aren't financial documents, which is something. Again, I give a disclaimer. I experienced when I had my studio some years ago, I had a person so when you have a bank, someone has to file a dispute to get their money back. And some of these apps, they can just put in a request and you will wake up without that money in your account. And it is a process. It is the other way around. With the bank, it's fair. With some of these companies, it is you are almost guilty before proven innocent, and you have to go to extreme lengths to prove that you are owed that money. Right. Okay. So
I want to say something as well. I really want to encourage business owners to be transparent with the tax preparer and with their accountant, because a lot of times they feel like I don't want to tell them what I've made or I want to hide funds or whatever. It's really important to be transparent because that's how we're able to help you in a more effective way. So I just want to throw that out there. And then a lot of times I've experienced where they'll come later and say, oh, well, I have this, income that I have, or I did receive something from here, or they say they didn't. So I really want to encourage, because I saw the comment of, the different apps, and a lot of times they forget that they received money from some of these apps, or just feel like it's not necessary to share that they've received the X amount of dollars from certain PayPal apps or whatever, it's really important to be transparent so we can make sure that they have the best experience for that year, and we'll be able to help them effectively.
And Phoebe, I just want to tell you how encouraged I am for you to use the word transparent. That is one of the words I use with the members, because if you're transparent with us, we're trying to provide you a safe place, a place that you can be open and you can get resolution and solutions. And if you're not transparent, then you can't receive the help that you deserve.
Exactly.
I want you to see what you need, that you deserve, so that you can create a solid economic foundation for your company. Shireen, shout out to her business, Kingdom Cares Funding, LLC. And one of the things that Juanita is going back to talk about that you spoke about, Phoebe, is putting yourself on payroll. That is something that at one point I did not do with my studio. Worst mistake ever. Huge mistake. Because when you go out, you know, cash is king, except when you're trying to buy a house, a car, establish credit, all of that, right?
Yes.
So there are ways. Go ahead, Phoebe. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just felt like I was just moved because I totally agree with what Juanita is saying, because a lot of times, a lot of people rob themselves. Yes, you're the business owner, and we take the hit a lot of times because we believe in our vision that was placed inside of us. So we're like, you know, it's okay as long as my employees get paid. But at the end of the day, the vision was placed inside of you. So why rob yourself? That's not the goal. The goal is for you. The vision was placed inside of you, so you can benefit from what the vision was placed inside. So yes, put yourself on payroll. Even if, and there's two different ways to do it. Either you're a W-2 employee under payroll or a contract employee. It depends on your situation. Everyone's situation is different. So it depends on what other income is in the household. It just depends. But I do an assessment with the clients and say, okay, it's best for you to be a contract employee or to be a W-2 employee. It just depends. But yes, I agree 100%. Put yourself on payroll. Pay yourself.
And Juanita's circling back on what you're saying. Those apps should be sending 1099 so that you don't have to work, because that goes towards showing what, you know, your business is doing. You want to show what your business is doing. And Marilyn is saying many entrepreneurs make such a mistake. You must separate yourself from the business. Yes, Marilyn. I mean, it's a big mistake. And sometimes it is, you learn that lesson the hard way. And that's why I try to share. And we're around people like Phoebe and Juanita and Shireen who try to share in yourself, because it's such a hard lesson to learn the hard way. So, and then it looks like Shireen has a great customer here who changed over. I switched to Kingdom Care Funding. So, you know, might be scary to think about switching over to, how can I afford this? I got to get a payroll account. I got to get a book, software, and I got to get a merchant account. But it's not as much. You're investing in your business, and you will see as you automate, you will see that you will increase your business. Okay. Yeah. I think we covered a lot of the questions and comments here, and I think this is, hey Dimitri, if that's you, honesty is the only policy when dealing with your finances. Amen to that. So I know we're not at church, but for a minute that's what it felt like. Yes. If that, Dimitri, if that's you, let us know. Or is that Fleur? So just as a recap, then April 7th, the tax clinic, National Entrepreneur Center, 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock. You need to be here at 9 to be eligible for the complimentary the complimentary preparation. That we just need to give a round of applause to Phoebe and her team, and Juanita and her team, because they are doing this to give back, folks. They're doing this to give back. So we need to have you prepared. We need to make sure this is a successful event for our founding trustee, BB&T. This is a successful event for Phoebe, a successful event for Juanita, because all of these people are investing into your businesses. So let's get you out April 7th to the tax clinic, and then April 11th and 12th we'll make your appointment. A special thank you also to our board member Tawan Mills, who is a part of BB&T, for working with his team, Louis Freeman, to make that happen. So the other thing I want to leave you all with, if you are in a situation and you're not ready to file, you can still reach out to Juanita or Phoebe, because you can do an extension for folks, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Tell us very briefly what that process looks like, and if someone comes out on Saturday the 7th, because it's a safe place, right, and they can have a talk with you, can you work with them to do an extension at that time?
Yes, I can take their information and we can do that for them. We can get all the documentations prepared for them for an extension. So yes, they will be able to do an extension, and also we are able to do other tax situations. I know a lot of times people they bump into something that's called an offer and a compromise. So we do those as well. And that's something that, just based off the situation, everybody's situation is different. So if they need that service, we do offer those services as well. So.
Okay, awesome, Phoebe. If you can hang on for us just a moment while we close out the PSA, and then we'll bring you back. I'm going to go to the View on Us, and we're going to go over a few more events, and then we'll bring you out to close out and be ready for Saturday. So Hold on just a moment. All right, so Miss Laura, we've given everybody a lot of information, right?
Yes, and on all of this information is going to be out on Facebook. I'm going to send it out in a newsletter either later tonight or first thing tomorrow. If you still take a look at it and still have any questions, we'll be here at the office Thursday and Friday to try to be able to answer at least some of the general questions. But at the end of the day, you really want to be here on April the 7th.
And so we have a list internally of folks that we're going to reach out to. So when you see Laura reaching out to you, you know that she's calling from a place that we're trying to get you to a place so you can get what you deserve, right? Not just what you need, what you deserve with your business.
Right. Because as Lena said, cash is king, but we do know that sometimes the tax situation, and we saw this in our loan-a-thon, was one of the deterring factors in making sure that people weren't able to get the kind of finances that they need. And as we had said when we launched Project Silo, over 600 people are coming in here. I've had at least 5 phone calls today saying, I need access to capital. Well, and I'm like, okay, we need to make sure that you have the documentation that's going to make your access to capital a little bit easier.
Yeah. All right. So real quick, we're going to give you what is coming up. We've given you an overview before, but we're going to go through a few things. So I'm excited because I'm going to go down and support our partner, the Florida State Minority Supplier Development Council, April 5th and 6th. And so it's still not too late, folks. If you need to get down and you need to get in front of some folks to show off your business, go online to see about the expo. This is the 33rd expo. It is phenomenal. It is huge. There is it's got to be close to 200 corporate partners that are there who are ready to do business with small businesses, women-owned businesses, minority-owned business. So that's been on our website. We just want to give that to you again. Also, we want to let you know, ACY Contractors, one of our faithful members, they have a project with Boone High School and an Eagle Awards just recently.
Yes,
so kudos.
2018 Eagle Awards.
Yes. So they have information that we put out. They have contracts where they're looking for small businesses and minority-owned businesses for Boone High School. So it's on the website. It's in Chamber Master. Laura will be blasting it out again. Keep on the lookout for that. And go through real quickly what else we have. We have some fun stuff.
We've got some social events too, but we also have a little bit more information. One of the things that we talked about, and you saw this on Facebook, is that out of our 4 pillars, they're sitting behind us. Entrepreneurial training and development. So when Lena's not doing it, are some of our community partners there. So in the town of Eatonville, actually on Saturday too. So after you come here and get your taxes done, a 1-day leadership training event in Eatonville, learning more about helping your community, learning about starting or expanding your small business. So Saturday, April 7th from 9:30 until 1:30 at the Denton Johnson Center in Eatonville. They're having a 1-day free leadership training event for small businesses.
And that's on the site as well, and you sent that out. Yes.
Right, absolutely.
Okay.
Tomorrow evening, one of the things that we do know that if you look at the news, anything, the political agenda is what moves a lot of small businesses. So on tomorrow, Thursday, April 5th, State Representative Bruce Anton in District 46 and Representative Camilla Brown in District 45 are holding a town hall meeting. They're holding this town hall meeting in the Pine Hills Community Center. It is going to be at 7 o'clock p.m. Again, this is going to be on Facebook and on our website also. 6408 Jennings Road in Orlando. And if you want to know how the legislative session in Tallahassee is going to affect your small business and you as an individual in your community, you have your representatives right there, point blank, so you can come up, ask them questions. They'll be able to be there to be able to answer all of those questions and provide you an update for the 2018 legislative session update.
And folks, this is serious. The first pillar for the African American Chamber of Commerce is advocacy. And, you have to understand how policy is going to affect your business. And, what a place to start with something like this, just to be able to go in, observe, and be able to have conversations. Both of these individuals, they are advocates of small businesses and local businesses and are open and will answer any questions. We recently partnered with an event with Camilla and Bruce Anton. We supported him. He did an entire initiative with the National Entrepreneur Center and the innovation piece here. Okay.
Right, bringing money in. And even with small businesses, there's a little bit of time to relax and enjoy yourself, because that's what life is about. When you work hard, you can play hard. So one of our other community partners, the Hannibal School Heritage Center, Lena, which is near and dear to your heart, a lot of information goes out for them. On April 21st, free, they're having their Folk and Urban Art Festival. They're having that at the
it's probably at the Creole Day in Winter Park. At the Creole Day School. That's right on Aloma in Winter Park. And they would love to see you.
It's their 9th annual the 9th annual Folk and Urban Art Festival. You're going to have local artists, music, dance, cultural education, soul food, and it's all free from 10 o'clock a.m. to 4 p.m. on April 21st. Awesome.
All righty. So we gave you a lot. It's all going to be online as well. To bring Phoebe in for one last
Demetrius event is also on April 21st.
At April 21st? Yes. She is also having that. You want to, real quickly, you want to give that information again? It's on the site as well.
It's on the site as well.
Yes. This is a women's empowerment conference, a leadership conference. It is something that you want to be at if you want to change your life. That's the only way I can put it. If you want to make some changes in your life and you want to go to the next level, you want to be in that room. She is a wonderful coach and a phenomenal speaker. She has a panel lined up. You want to talk about advocacy? She has a power-packed political panel from Clerk Tiffany Moore Russell to another one of our board members, Letitia Adams, because she works in the role as the political princess at Walt Disney World. And we have Camilla is on that panel. Panel. It's phenomenal, folks. It's just, you will want to go on our website. You want to take a look. You'll want to be there. All right. So Phoebe, is there any words or anything that you want to leave folks with when, for today and for when they watch this later through Saturday?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you again for the opportunity. My firm and I are really excited to be in attendance on Saturday and next week. I have my partner, he's on as well. He's watching. His name is Mario Davis. So if he has any comments or anything, he's on. And we just want to encourage everyone to make sure they look at the checklist. And I know you mentioned about the extensions. The extensions are up into October 15th, so we can do that for them. So that's something I want to make sure that they're aware of. And also just, be prepared. We talked about the businesses and different things that they need to bring, all of their income and their revenue for their company. So make sure that they bring that, even if it's a lot of receipts, making sure that they separate everything and itemize it for us so it can be a smooth transition. And just come prepared, making sure they have all their identification and all of their taxable income. So this is an exciting event. I commend you all. Hi, Mario.
Mario. And we are very excited. And this, I'll put that up. That is Miss Demetria's event, Spring into Leadership. So we're so excited, Phoebe.
Thank
very
you.
Excited. Very excited
as well.
And register. That's what I wanted to make sure I said. Register. We'll drop the link into the comments. Register or call the office if you have problems registering. It's right online so that we can make sure that we're checking your information and we are accommodating you. And I think that's all for today's broadcast. PSA, right?
PSA.
Well, you all have a wonderful evening, safe evening, and we will see you on Saturday. Those of you who need to be here, and for those of you who will be coming to some of the other events coming up, we cannot wait to mingle with you again. Have a great evening.
Have a great evening.